Hey everybody, I feel called to do a video. I know it's super duper dark out, but I feel like God's put it on me and I just don't know. Sometimes I do some random stuff. Okay guys, I have a YouTube channel, but I do be just filming randomly just because I'm a talker and I love to yap, especially with my dad. So what I have been made more aware of in my life is how much you actually do have, even when you feel like you don't, okay? Because let's just be realistic here. We don't know everything out here in the world. We would never be able to experience everything on here in the world. This is why we have a natural tendency to always want more. The world pushes all these things at us and we're like, we should want this, we should want that. Oh, this is what this person wants. This is what the goal that this person has. We don't want to be left behind. We don't want to feel forgotten. This is one thing he's put on my heart. We don't want to be forgotten. You know, when you have a yellow light and you're like, that car before me is turning, I'm gonna go ahead and turn even when it's gonna be the red light, but you're like, I deserve that. I'm entitled to that because I've waited this long. But you're actually not. That's the crazy thing. Just because you've waited doesn't mean that you deserve that person. Just because you've waited and you've been patient doesn't mean that that is what you are due. Actually, you're not due anything at all, but guess what? God has paid everything for you. And all you need to do is accept that. This is the distorted reality about how the enemy tries to use all these materialistic, wannabe, spiritual fulfillments at your expense. Because he puts it, and then you're like, oh, yeah, this is what I actually should want, right? Because everyone else is doing it, right? And everyone else is moving towards this and they want to have this profession, career, whatever. Everything else is completely non-important. At their focal point right now is what they have, and they're living for the temporary moments because they don't know anything apart from this. They never question, why are we here? Why are we alive? Why is everything surrounding us so beautifully integrated and so intentionally done and melancholically, I don't even know if that's the word, but it's just harmonic. It's all coexisting in one essence, and if we didn't have one thing, then everything else would be unbalanced. The sea, it has borders, it has boundaries, like, what is keeping that not from going over and colliding into the earth, the grass, the land? What is that force that we somehow don't acknowledge, we think? And so it's like you could be easily, just misguided, misled by these satisfactory moments of when you think that you deserve it. But really, love is something that surpasses every notion that you might even think that you know, because it's something that is only given if you are connected to the ultimate creator of this whole love. I don't even know what it is. It's just love is everywhere. I mean, can you not see it? Are you blind to it? Are you so deep in the shallowness of your own human desires that you are not open to perceiving what this actually is? And that's why I can't speak so pointedly about this, because I was once there. I was once thinking the way I was thinking because that's how I always did, and I didn't know what was over the horizon. I was just doing what I've always known to do, never thinking twice, almost like a robot. And it's like only when the grace of God stepped in was I able to make different choices, because I was leading from a new heart made of flesh, not of iron, not of stone. Okay, so if you feel like you just have some tendencies to be less intended to be of gratitude for what you have, or if you look at things in a very pessimistic, one-sided, bleak way, I want you to know that there's a whole different world out here that you haven't met yet, because you need to meet the author of it to be able to access that mind that is producing from that connection, right? Because just as the plants need water and they need to be connected to their root, is just as much as we need to be in that relation with our author, right? These are all productions, these are all just the byproducts of what he has intended for us, because he cares about us that deeply, that he will provide food, he will provide abundance in every area. And it's unfortunate that some have more than others, but you wouldn't know that if you were grown up. And not even that, but you were just born into another area where you had to accept that and you didn't know anything else, right? What happens when this is all you know? How do you unlearn the devaluation that you have always done? How do you unlearn when people haven't really held you accountable? How do you make the knot untied when it's been so ingrained within what you actually always have done, that has become your identity in a sense? This is where it gets very tricky. This is what we need to come to the root of, and this is where it always is. It's like, do you see yourself as a child of your creator, of that precious daughter, of that precious son? Do you see yourself in that way? Do you see how much he cares for you, that he has placed you exactly where you are, and he has taken everything meant for bad and placed it into good if you give him those parts of you? If you release that control to want to be right, to need to know, to have the answers, I think you need to see that you will never have all the answers, and you need to create that space for that relationship so that you can place that substance in that word dad or mom. If it never had that true substance, if you never felt that connection, rather it been something that you resented saying, rather it be dad, rather it be something that you didn't even want to accept that that person was that for you, because it was awful and it wasn't actually a love wasn't in that existence between the two. But knowing that God is ultimate love, so there can't never be void of that. You're always going to reap that. He says that. I believe it's in Isaiah 54, where if you read, I think it's Isaiah 54:10, it's explaining how he sees you. And it's showing that he sees you as precious as gold, like rubies. And he never will forsake you. He promises that, okay? He says it even goes back to when he promised Noah's Ark that the floods will be gone, like, and that he will be not forsaken. He goes as far as to say that that is how deep his word stands. Amongst the flood, it still stands. And so I need you to know, if you are in that flood right now, if you can't get up, if you are reaching for the horizon, for the surface, and you're trying to grapple on it with your own thoughts of what it is, of your own understanding, of your own way, rather than just listening to the silence that might be a killer for some of you, that you try to ignore and distract yourself every given moment. And these are why these devices are placed right before your eyes, so that you don't even get a chance to think about how God's thinking so much about you, and that you can tune into that signal and be like, hey God, hey Dad, I didn't know that you were always yearning for my attention. You have a limited amount of a limited amount of attention so you can always be with every single being on this universe at the same amount of time. And you want to speak to me? Yeah, he does. I promise you that. And if you just if you just release all of these mind things that constrict you from actually being that which he's created you to be from the womb, then you will come back into his arms. You will be made whole. He promises that he will heal the broken and contrite heart. He makes these offers to you, invitations, and allowing you to be the one to step forward. You need him just as much as he wants and needs you. He's yearning for that. He never wanted it to be like this. So look around. Look around. Take a moment to actually live in the day, not in another day, not in what you are comparing yourself to another person's life, because you have no idea what they are battling inside. Not in the future, not in the ideal person that you would want to be. What the society is basically telling you what to be, or just shoving in your face. That's all that's all blocking who you are. God doesn't want you to be someone else. He accepts you and he loves you and he likes you right here, right now. And I think that we're so susceptible to this deceptive spirit of growth and needing to be, needing to become, needing to grow, needing to manifest, needing to evolve, where we lose ourselves in the process. We lose these fundamental, grounding, loving, compassion, and unconditional regard for one and another, because we're always on this high of trying to be somewhere else, of trying to know more, of trying to see more and be more, and ultimately become our own God, on this illusion where we're ultimately going to fall and crash because we're only human. And he's made us in this way where we have to depend on him, or else how could we do it? There's no guarantee in any day, any choice that you make. But I would urge you to not trust yourself before you do that, before you say that thing. I would tell you to question, what is the motives? What is the intentions? What is the insecurities? What is the deep, darkest things that are influencing what you are protruding out of the mouth that might defile you? And I want you to know that you have something much more greater inside of you, which is that love that is always within, that is greater than the one that is outside. And if you connect to that, if you make that intention to prioritize that, seek the kingdom, and all things will be added to you. Know this. These aren't just mere words. These are literally living from the ultimate creator that has allowed you to be in this. And if we take a step back and realize that we aren't worth any of this, but we have been given the grace and the mercy that we are in this. Don't get so caught up in this familiarity of it all, because it won't always be. You won't always have those same people. You won't have the same experiences to the next moment. So this is why it's so important to relish in where you're at in the present moment. There's no other moment. There's nothing to escape to. There's nothing to flee from. Be where you are. Acknowledge where you are. Acknowledge where you've come from. Like Rachel and was it Rachel? No, Rebecca and Hagar, right? So like what God said when she ran from Rebecca, because she was fleeing from her mistreatment, right? She wasn't getting treated in the way that she deserved, right? From her master, and she fled and she went to the wilderness, but she was upon a pond, right? A water was in the dryness of the wilderness. And so she stopped, and then the fountain of water, which was God showing up, he told her, Hagar, where have you come from and where are you going? Where have you come from and where are you going? Just think about that. So often we're so like, I want to go here, I want to be that, I want to be that. You know, when you were younger, you're like, oh, I can't wait until I'm 18. I can't wait until I drive my car. I cannot wait. Why can't you not wait? Why can't you just sit down, be a kid, depend? Stop trying to have everything figured out. Stop trying to think that you ever can, because there's ultimately no way that you can ever know what's happening. You never did when you came out the womb, so why do you think that you will now? Just because you've grown, just because you're a certain age doesn't mean anything. Just because you might have your frontal lobe developed, yes, that's an asset. But at the end of the day, I think you just need to be reminded that you are not in that power and that control. And I think that this is how a lot of demonic entities, spirits, what you call it, will enter your vessel, because you've allowed that what is it? You missed putting that pedestal to God, right? And you're giving it to yourself. You're like, oh, I'm loving the power seat. I'm loving what I'm gaining from man's approval. I'm loving it, and I can't get enough of it. This is why there's so much greed. This is why you feel like you are in scarcity, because you can't find that within yourself. So you're always seeking from without. And you're like, oh, if I don't get that, if I don't get what I want from other people, I'm going to fight harder and harder for it, because I feel like there's nothing else that I could ever be filled by in this world. Like, that's all you're living for. That's all you think that this life is about how you're viewed, about your social status, whatever. You look at the graves and you're like, there's so many names, there's so many families, generations, and you just zoom on by with your little boxy car that you get in, and then you turn on the steering, you turn the key, and you're ready to go. How easy it is for all of us, right? How easy do we have it? But guess what? That's the deception. Just because you think that it's easy doesn't mean that it didn't take or cost a lot to get to where you're at. And I just want you to sit in that. It often takes you getting to your rock bottom for you to appreciate the good. And it often takes you to have to get so deep into your sin where you know that there's no other option. And you have to seek out. And that's where God, sometimes, his last resort is to meet you there. But he doesn't want it to be that way. And I just want you to know that it doesn't have to be like that for you. So if you're seeing this video, know that he's speaking directly towards you. And he's saying, why would you let it get to that extent when I've been reaching out to you? before you've ever existed. And I know you more than you know yourself. If you could just give me a chance. Then he's ready. He's running for you. He's like, yes. But you just have to open up that little bit with no expectation of what it's going to be like, but it's just in your yielding to it. You're just yielding to whatever. And I'm going to tell you that that's the best position to be in this world, because you don't have any type of control as you think you do. You even have control in being born. So why do you think you have control over anything from that point? So yeah, I don't know. This is a crazy little random video, but I just felt it on my heart and my spirit. I felt a pull. And I was like, okay, God, I'm going to be obedient to you. So yeah, I encourage you to comment how you felt about this video, if it resonated with you, if it didn't. And honestly, very blessed to be on this platform in this generation where it's so accessible to just pop a video up here and then connections everywhere. So what a blessing it is. And I'm grateful for you watching this video, that you exist. Yes, you. And I don't even have to know you to say that, because you are so valuable just by being. And I'm sorry if you didn't get that from another human that was supposed to, because you deserve it. And there are people out here that are just waiting for you to enter their lives, and God has them. You just gotta let him and let go of anything that you're trying to control. Bye guys, love you.